Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really bold proposal that emerged in late 2025. It's a set of 20 laws for AI, but here's the twist. They aren't just guidelines. The idea is to build them directly into the core of our most advanced AI systems. So this is way more than another ethics framework. We're talking about an actual construction blueprint. So picture this. It's 2025, and a totally new kind of AI has arrived. And no, we're not just talking about predictive models or smarter chatbots. These are strategic, autonomous systems. And their arrival forces us to ask a really critical question. Are the old rules we have now even close to enough to manage a technology that can genuinely think for itself? Yeah, we're moving way beyond AI as just a simple tool that follows our commands. We are now officially entering the age of what are called agentic systems. And this is where AI shows a level of autonomy that completely changes the game. Okay, so let's unpack that term, agentic. What does it actually mean? Well, we're talking about an AI where you can give it a high-level goal and it figures out all the steps on its own. It improves itself, it learns, and it can even develop strategies that its own creators never explicitly programmed. And that is where the line between a simple tool and an independent actor gets really, really blurry. And here's the heart of the problem, right? This explosion of agentic AI happened so incredibly fast that our laws, our governance, our safety protocols, they're all just struggling to keep up. I mean, they were designed for a totally different kind of technology. And it's not for a lack of trying. Back in 2025, you had the EU rolling out its AI Act, the OECD studying hundreds of use cases, the ITU warning everyone about the dangers, but the whole global landscape was just fragmented. Everyone had a different piece of the puzzle, which created this huge governance gap right as the technology took this massive leap forward. That governance gap creates an even bigger technical problem. An advanced AI can make millions, maybe even billions of decisions in the time it takes you to blink. So the old method of checking its work after the fact, it's like trying to count raindrops in a hurricane. It's completely impossible. So the crucial point is that we need a fundamental shift in our thinking. The approach laid out in this paper moves us from being reactive to being proactive. So instead of just hoping the AI follows the rules, you build an AI that is architecturally incapable of breaking them. The analogy on the slide here is perfect. We stop relying on speed limit signs, and instead, we build a car that physically cannot go too fast. And this brings us to the proposed solution, something called a constructional codex. Now, this is not a list of polite suggestions. It's a set of 20 concrete laws that have to be embedded into the very design of any of these agentic AI systems, a true blueprint for building them safely. This quote from the author really just nails the whole idea. The responsibility for safety moves away from the user or the regulator and lands squarely on the original designer. Safety can't be an afterthought anymore. It has to be the absolute foundation that everything else is built on. Now, the enforcement mechanism for these laws is brutally simple, and it's got two tiers. If the AI breaks one of the core safety laws, that's laws 1 through 11, it triggers an immediate automatic shutdown. Boom, no questions asked. For the other enabler laws, if one of those is breached, it requires an immediate fix. It creates a really powerful and clear set of priorities. So let's dig into the absolute foundation of this blueprint, those first 11 laws. These are the non-negotiables, the rules that trigger that instant shutdown if they're ever broken. Law number 1 is, you could argue, the most radical and definitely the most important of all. It says the AI must have no self-interest. None. At all. And this gets right to the heart of that by construction philosophy. The law mandates that you literally cannot build the AI with the mechanisms that could let it develop its own agenda. So no internal reward systems, no ability to copy its own core code. It makes that classic rogue AI scenario an architectural impossibility. Okay, so right after that, you get laws 2 and 3. Think of these as the fundamental harm aversion principles that act as the AI's core ethical guardrails. These laws are crystal clear. No physical harm and no scientifically defined psychological harm to people. They are what's called deontological, which basically means they are absolute duties. The only exception is a direct instruction from a legitimate, democratic authority, and that's key. It ensures the tool always remains under human legal control. So beyond those hard stop safety rules, That second tier of laws, the enablers, they're designed to shape the AI into the most effective, reliable, and trustworthy tool it can possibly be. You can think of these enabler laws as just the principles for building great software. They're designed to make the AI not just powerful, but also focused, transparent, efficient, and reliable. For instance, some of these laws say the AI has to stay on task, it has to disclose that it is an AI, it should look for energy-efficient solutions, and it even has to present its results in a way that helps us humans catch errors. It's all about building an incredibly smart tool that we can actually trust. Law 14 here tackles one of AI's absolute biggest challenges, bias. It requires the AI to get its information from mathematically diverse categories of sources. So we can't just learn from one little corner of the internet. It has to draw from a balanced diet of academic papers, public data, historical texts, all of it, to build a more robust and equitable understanding of the world. So, when you put all 20 of these laws together, what's the ultimate vision? I mean, what does this whole codex actually achieve in the grand scheme of things? Well, the goal is simple, and it is completely unambiguous: to keep humans in control. The entire framework is designed to make sure that even the most powerful, agentic AI remains what it was intended to be in the first place: an incredibly sophisticated tool operating under our direction and in service of goals we decide on democratically. The preamble to the Codex really puts it perfectly. The AI has rules, but it doesn't have authority. The final accountability always rests with human institutions. The AI is a subject of our laws, not an enforcer of them. This idea of building safe AI by design it's really powerful. Embedding our values into the very architecture of these systems is a strong defense against things going wrong. But a blueprint is only as good as the builders who decide to use it, which leaves us with a critical final question. In a world that is racing to build the most powerful AI, who is going to be brave enough to build the safest?